absolutely love being wrong, because I feel like you will never grow more and learn more than when you talk to someone who can respectfully and meaningfully engage and show you a different perspective than the way you've been seeing things. So when it comes to influencing, I feel like when I originally heard the term, I thought it just meant a person with influence. And I think that's what the term actually means, right? The term just means a person with influence. But somewhere along the lines, the influencer term just got associated with like what the job title means. So what my opinion is that the job title in South Africa at least means a person who creates content for a living, sure, but they make their living and their income from working with brands. And so even myself, I find myself saying I'm not an influencer because I don't make my primary income from working with brands, right? I work for myself, I'm a freelancer, I sell courses, digital education, so I don't make my income in the same way as traditional influencers. Why am I out of breath? I don't make my income in the same way as traditional influencers, and so I didn't like when people called me an influencer. And we need to discuss like why do we have this negative connotation of influencers? You'll even see certain celebrities hate being called influencers, and I think that's wrong of us. Like, you know, I'm debating with Famke, we're talking about this, and we really go down to like what does the word mean and why do certain celebrities and people like myself hate being referred to as influencers, because it should just mean you're a person with influence. Any person with influence should be an influencer. But like I said, people, you know, we have this industry term of like what it means that you work with brands. And for me, I really don't like the idea of only making my primary income from being paid by brands. So that's what I was saying. And she just disagreed with me. And so as we're debating and discussing, we're getting to the roots of things, we really come to the, you know, point in the conversation, we're like, but wait, how does radio make money? How does TV make money, right? So if you look at like a network show, like SABC, how does SABC make money? Well, it's from advertisers putting ads on the platform. Like if you're watching a show, every few minutes, you know, usually every 5 to 10 minutes, there will be an ad. And that is how they keep the lights on. How do, you know, magazines make money? How do newspapers make money? How does radio make money? It's through the ads that advertisers pay. And how do influencers make money? It's through advertising. And so what is the big deal with it? It's just basically, I'm still gonna have to comb this out. Ooh, is this one curled? I still have to comb this out. It's basically from the ads that people put. And so like, why does influencing have less, like a more negative perception when radio, TV do the exact same thing? They make their money from advertising on the platform. And right, so back in the day when everybody was watching only television, when that was the only form of media we had, where that was the only place where people were watching, it was the most lucrative place for advertisers to advertise, because you have to understand that the number one thing advertisers want is they want people to watch. Like if you are Huggies and you're selling nappies, you want mothers to watch your ads and know that you sell nappies, right? And so previously, the only place to really reach people was radio, TV, whereas now the place to reach people is Instagram and TikTok, because that's what consumers are also watching. And so if you're doing the same thing, why does it have less of a connotation? And it's funny because even throughout history, like when television was first invented, all the radio people were like, no, that's not a serious thing. You know, every time there's a new form of media, it is looked down upon because it is simply new. So if influencers do the exact same thing that radio and television do, why do radio stars and television stars think that it's something to look down upon when it's kind of the exact same thing? And I find that so fascinating, right? Like, isn't that so interesting? And it really has refreshed my opinion on what I think about the profession, and I respect it a lot more, and I think we all should respect it a lot more. And I think, you know, there's a big thing that people say, a lot of people are jealous of influencers because they get to make money posting content and TikTok. Yeah, I think a lot of people definitely are jealous, and I think people don't actually realize the level of effort and work and professionalism that influencers have to put into their content to capture that attention. I've seen some people saying that like influencers aren't as professional as people who studied radio and television, and it's like, it takes a certain level of skill to get 1 million people to watch a video. Okay, ask SABC, they're trying to get millions of people to watch. It takes a level of skill. And if influencers have figured it out and they have the same level of talent and skill to get 1 million people, 2 million people to watch, it's the same thing. So yeah, that is my new perception. I'm now definitely going to respect the profession more. Even as a, like, I create content, right? I'm someone who creates content. I often watch how influencers do things. I think they are creative. They're the way that they use camera and lighting and having personality on screen. I think that is so admirable, and I always learn from them and like the tactics that they're doing. Even me, like doing my hair on camera. That's something that influencers invented, of like, you know, doing something while on camera. And like, look at me now, I'm doing the exact same thing because they figured out how to get attention on social media, which is not an easy thing. If you've ever created content, you know how hard it is to get people to watch your stuff. And so I find influencers to be really creative. I learn a lot from them, and yeah, I'm so glad that someone showed me a different perspective.